Be recording this?
Yeah, sorry, I just started it. I wanted to make sure you had your group before I started. So we've just started
Okay.
broadcasting. Yep.
So we need to notice people that we are being recorded, correct, Andy?
Yeah, they should get a pop-up, but we are recording. They have no general public audience at the moment. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so call to order. The first item on tonight's agenda is approval of last minutes. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Great. Okay, and our new business
Oh, you
is
have to do a roll call vote.
oh, roll call, that's right, because we're online. So we have to all say all those in favor say
No, you have to individually name members and
oh,
ask.
individually. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because we're on Zoom, not in person.
got it. Thanks, Kim. Okay,
Yep.
so Peter,
Yay, nay, yeah, yay, yes.
Catherine,
Yay.
Kim,
Yay.
Shanna, yay. Great. Second item is of new business is review of artist's proposed quote. The quote by Frederick Douglass reads, "Betwixt me and you and the turbid waters roll." Oh, great.
Everyone
Thanks, Kim.
see? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was making sure you could see my screen.
Yes. Does anybody have any feelings they would like to express or concerns about this?
Hello, yes. First, I love the quote. Generally, I think the public would probably have questions about certain wordage because they're not typical words, but I like that. It makes people think and it challenges them. But to let you know, that quote comes from Douglass's autobiography, which is actually entitled Narrative Life of Frederick Douglass, comma, an American Slave. And the full quote is a sentence that starts with, alas, comma, betwixt me and you, comma, the turbid waters roll. So I could go with one of three. I like it. I think it's great, but there are three variations, any one I can go with. One is, I think, because we are quoting someone directly, it should be an exact quote. So I think we need to add a last comma as a full sentence, or do dot, 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 betwixt, whatever moving forward. That's one. Um, I think most people will probably not know who Frederick Douglass is. So again, that makes them work, and I like that. But I would suggest possibly not just saying Frederick Douglass, but giving where sourcing the material by saying narrative life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, and then in parens a memoir, 1845, because that's when it was published. So those are my thoughts. I like it, but I think we have to be true to the author and give a little bit, perhaps more reference to the general public of where it comes from and not just have it out there. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. I think the context of where it's coming from is important. And I do think, thank you for researching the quote because I didn't do that. So it's great to actually hear the whole thing. And I think it's important that we actually get the whole thing in there or do dot, 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 and then go into it.
It's also, he left out the comma because, I'm a fixator. I'm an overuse of commas, but I think they're appropriate. And in this one, he put in a comma especially to make a point. So a comma between you and the, because it really does, I don't know what to call that. Excuse me, let me just get off of that. It changes the tone of the statement.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think getting the punctuation correct is important too. And it does, I think, drive home what he was saying a little clearer. Does anyone else have any thoughts that they want to share? Great. Well,
6-minute
Kim,
meeting.
yeah. Kim, is it possible to go back to Aaron with some proposed edits?
Yeah, I can reach out to him and I think we should potentially vote on exactly. So what I have is we're looking for the exact quote, alas, comma, betwixt me and you, comma, the turbid waters roll, and also after Frederick Douglass have from maybe what he has at the bottom there, Life and Times of Frederick Douglass written by himself. Is that what you're suggesting, Peter, or did you want to pull it from a different?
Well, it's the actual name of the book that was published was Narrative Life of Frederick Douglass, comma, an American Slave. And I think it's important to have the full name of the book. It's actually considered a seminal work of not only Frederick, but of that period. So I think, we have to stick with the actual title. And then in parentheses, because it was his memoir. So you could put a memoir and the actual pub date.
And what was the publication date again?
1845.
So I just want to get this correct. So the exact quote, and then under or after Frederick Douglass, put from.
Well, see, you don't have to put Frederick Douglass. If you say Narrative Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, a memoir. I mean,
Okay.
that's to me sort of, you don't have to say Frederick Douglass twice. If
Got
we're
it.
looking for space.
Got it.
Now,
So
the only other thing is what, Andy, do you know the height of the pedestal there from the ground?
I do not. I'd have to pull up the detail. I think he sent us a dimension previously. I'd have to take for that from.
yeah, I can, let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, because it's just, it's you're gonna make people sort of crouch to kind of read it. I'm just wondering if it's high enough so that you can stand and still take in.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make it a seat height, at least at the edges, with a little slope inward, I think, to drain water. But
Are you guys still seeing my screen or,
you're scrolling a document, yeah.
yeah, got it. Okay. Just see if he put.
I actually must admit, I didn't know the meaning of turbid until I looked it up. And I'm going, what an incredible word to use. It says so much in what he's trying to say.
I'm not sure I'm going to be
Steve,
able to
I'm on
find.
a Zoom call. I'll call you back.
I don't know if it's in there. I thought at one point he had it in a prior sketch, but that I don't know whether something you have is more detailed.
Yeah, because if you have to kind of crouch down to read it, if it's a height of a 6-inch curb, that becomes problematic in reading
I
it.
think he said it was seat height. I think he said it was like
Yeah, about seat
16
height,
or
it's like
18 inches
or
high.
so. Yeah. And also, people, at least on 3 of the sides, fully. I mean, there'll be opportunity for people to step back further. So I guess it's provided the font is, a reasonable size. It's, I think because they'd be able to pull themselves back, the angle wouldn't be quite so stark of them looking down. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because the only other option that if it is sort of really, the height is really not appropriate or whatever, could it be written on the surface of the base? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if there's room or space for that people can read. It's, I just want to make sure that it's a great quote. It says a lot. I just want to make it as easy as possible for people to kind of view it.
I'm just trying to find.
I feel like it's pretty visible. I feel like it'll be visible.
Okay.
I think, especially, I don't know. I don't know what the lights aren't going to hit it, obviously, but I do feel like it's going to be illuminated enough that I'm not super worried about the visibility of it.
And I think people will
Even though
notice. from afar too. Like, I don't think it's something that somebody will like. I mean, as long as I guess maybe a better question might be like how large is the actual text itself?
Yeah, what's the font?
Rather than
You know, stuff.
placement.
Yeah, which he has that, let me just pull this up again.
Oh my God, I'm so red. Bad lighting.
He has the main text height 1.5 inches and the naming text height 1 inch. And the depth of the text would be 1/4 of an inch.
I mean,
So
that
this
is
is,
pretty small, I think.
Yeah, that is small. I'm wondering if we could maybe ask for it to be a little bigger. It's not a
Yeah.
very long quote, so I don't want the words to get lost in all that empty space around it.
Yeah, I agree. Like because especially since it is like to Peter's point, it's lower, it's not at eye level. People will most likely more read it from afar than they will from close up. And in that case, it would be harder to read at a smaller font size.
so I think what I would recommend is maybe someone creating a motion to approve, and I can read back what I heard from you all. And then I think we would approve it based on conditions that the text be larger and that these changes can be made. I don't, it's a bit of a time constraint at this point because he
Right.
needs to pour this
Mhm.
space in order to get the fabrication going. So I guess I would want to know from the Public Art Committee how much wiggle room you would all allow for him to be able to proceed. And I can have a conversation with him and then relay back in an email what he said. But I need to know, I think, on the record, how much, um, how much,
Wiggle room. Well,
adjustment you'd be comfortable with us giving him.
okay, so it seems like there's 3 items then. The actual quote itself. It's got to be the full quote, the full sentence with the proper punctuation. That's a non-negotiable for me. That's one. Is that agreeable to people? That it be the full quote with the proper punctuation?
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
So we can vote on that separately.
Okay.
What was your next one,
The
Peter?
second one is if he's agreeable to putting the name of the actual memoir as, you know, the title with in parentheses memoir and the date. That to
Mhm.
me is, you know, okay if he wants to or not, but I think it has to at least have a date stamp. Frederick Douglass, 1845. If
Okay,
nothing else, it's got to have at least some sort of reference in that regard.
okay. That's 2. And then is number 3, the larger text?
Yeah, the larger
Do we
text.
want to give some parameters on what would be preferred by us?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to if I have a. It's hard to do spatial referencing or size referencing without an example. But I would say it's got to be at least double of what it is now.
That's what I was going to say. Double the height text and the naming text. I think the depth might be fine. 1/4 of an inch in, I think is fine.
I
Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah.
because it's up high enough that any dirt or whatever that might accumulate around it or whatever wouldn't get in and distort the lettering, I'm assuming. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Kim, so you'll go back to Aaron with the asking if we can double the text height. And if he's okay with altering the how the text is quoted.
Yeah, so I think what the cleanest thing would be for us to vote to approve all 3 of these. And I would say if he says he can't do one or more, we'll have to probably get back together again before he fabricates this. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
All right, so let me read off the motion then so that we
Okay.
know exactly what it is we're voting on. So motion to approve the artist to proceed with the fabrication of the base with an exact quote, which shall read, "Alas, comma, betwixt me and you, comma, the turbid waters roll," with a correct reference to Frederick Douglass that shall read, "From Narrative Life of Frederick Douglass, comma, an American slave, open paren, a memoir, 1845, close paren," and that the text shall be main text height 3 inches, naming text height 2 inches, and depth approximately 1/4 inch. Does that capture it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shanna, you'll have to ask for a second and then a roll call vote.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Great, and roll call. Peter,
Yay.
Catherine,
Yay.
Kim,
Yay.
Shanna, yay. Great, there's no other business on our agenda, so motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll
Is there-
motion
make-
to adjourn.
I
Oh, sorry, you
second.
can motion as the chair.
Catherine,
So
you-
who seconded?
Sure. I second.
Catherine. Thank you.
Great, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, have a wonderful holiday, everyone.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And thank you for this.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Andy.